Happy morning, children. Today we are going to start with a new chapter number 7, Control and Coordination. In the previous chapter, we have studied the life process lesson. In that, we have come across the content like nutrition, respiration, transportation, and also excretion. So, these life processes do not work separately, but all they are interconnected. If they interconnect and do the work only, the body can have the balanced work, right? The balance within the organism can be maintained. In addition to that, the living organism also sensitive to the environment, right? So that is, they respond and react to the changes that takes place around them, right? So the changes that brings about the responses in the living organism is called as stimuli. Again, I'll tell you, the changes that bring about responses in the living organisms are called stimuli. See, I'll give some examples for that. Have you seen the sunflower? Right. So the sunflower usually faces towards the direction of the sun. Yeah, because of that it gets a name as sunflower. Right. So here the stimulus, which one you consider as a stimulus? Yeah, the sunlight is the stimulus. Behind that, the bending of sunflower towards the sun is the response, right? Again, one more example I'll give for you for a better understanding. Actually, if we touch a hot object, will you keep your hands as such? No. Immediately we quickly pull our hands away from that, right? So here again, the heat is the stimulus and pulling of hand is the response. Towards the stimulus, pulling of hand is the response. The same way, at sight of a tasty food, another example, if you see a tasty food, at the sight of the tasty food, our mouth immediately secretes a saliva. So here this tasty food is a stimulus and secretion of saliva is the response. Children, I hope that you are clear with the knowledge of what is stimuli and what is response. Different living organisms have different mechanisms of control and coordination. That is, the control and coordination takes place in animals may differ from the plants. Actually, in today's class, we are going to see about the control and coordination in plants. In case of a plant, the coordination is brought about by the chemicals which is called as phytohormone or plant growth regulators. Right. So in plants, only the chemical coordination occurs as they do not have any nervous system. Right. So in case of an animal, the changes, the movement may occur due to that of the nervous system. But here, purely the movement in the plant may occur due to the chemicals. Right. Beside that, do you know what is a plant movement? Yes. We know that living organism, that is a living plant, shows some changes in their position due to the changes in the environment or due to some internal causes, right? Such changes we can call that as movement. So in today's class we are going to see about the topic plant movement. Okay, plants are usually fixed at one place and they do not move from one place to another like animals, but they can move their body parts, that is like a stem, root and even flowers, when they are subjected to the external stimuli like a touch or light or water or towards the chemicals, right? So some changes may occur. There are two types of movements in plants. They are growth dependent and growth independent, right? So first I'll give you an example. You just find what it is, right? So the closing of touch-me-not plant. What is touch-me-not plant? Yeah, Mimosa pudica, right? So once if the person touch the leaf of the Mimosa pudica, automatically the closing of leaf, the leaf may get true. So this may consider the example of, very good, this is a growth independent, right? And some plants may grow growth of seeds, which is a directional, right? This comes under the example of growth dependent. Okay, so it is of two major types. The movement of plants, it is of two major types. They are growth dependent and growth independent. There are two regions in the plants. They are number one, perceptive region, another one is the responsive region. What is perceptive region? It is the region of the plant which detects the stimulus. Okay, the part of the plant which detects the stimulus is called as perceptive, and the region of the plant which shows the response is called as responsive region. Right, and beyond that, the responses it is of two major types. One is positive, another one is a negative. Okay, so if it is the response of the plant is towards the stimulus, then it is called as positive, and if the response is away from the stimulus, then it is called as a negative. Okay, and there are two types of movements. They are autonomic and parotonic. What are they? Autonomic and parotonic. So first, autonomic movement. These are the spontaneous movement which occurs automatically due to some certain internal reasons. It occurs spontaneously, so it is called as autonomic movement. And the second one is called as a parotonic movement. These movements which occurs in response to the external stimuli like chemicals or lights. Okay. The plant movements are mostly the movement of curvature. Usually, if you see the movement of the plant, it will be a movement of curvature. And this, either it may be autonomic or sometimes it may be because of parotonic also. Now, again, under the parotonic movement of the plant, it is classified into two categories. They are trophic movement and nastic movement. As I already said, trophic movement, it is also called as directional movement. So here the plant responds to the stimuli slowly by growing in a particular direction. Right. See, for example, the plant like pumpkin or cucumber, here the plant climbs up the fences by means of tendrils. Right. Trophic movement, it is of five major types. They are phototrophism, geotrophism, hydrotrophism, chemotrophism and thigmotrophism. Under that, the first what we are going to see is called as a phototrophism. So from the name, it is very clear. Photo, yeah, good. It is a light. And trophism, yeah, directional movement. Okay. So the phototrophism is the growth of plant in response to the light. What is positive phototrophism? Shoots respond by bending towards the light. As per the light direction, the shoot respond by bending. So that is a positive. And negative here is the roots. Yeah, you just imagine the roots, whether it will move towards the light? No, it will move away from the light, right? So the roots respond by bending away from the light. So it is called as a negative phototrophism. Now we are going to see the second type, what is called as a geotrophism. Yeah, from the name it is very clear. Geotrophism is the movement of the plant in response to the gravity, either downwards or upward. Okay, so first is a positive. Positive geotrophism is roots, yeah, the roots which will grow towards the ground, towards the gravity. So it is a positive geotrophism. And the next is the negative geotrophism. A good example for that is shoot. Yes, it will grow away from the ground. So it is a negative geotrophism. And now we will see the third type, what is hydrotrophism. Hydrotrophism is a growth response in which the direction is determined by the stimuli of water. Okay, right. So good example here is the root always grow towards a source of water. So towards a source of water, the root may grow. So it is an example for hydrotrophism. And the fourth one is a chemotrophism. Chemotrophism is a growth movement of the plant parts in response to the chemical stimulus. See the picture here. The example given here is the growth of the pollen tubes towards the ovule, right? So usually the pollen tube move towards the ovule is a very good example for the chemotrophism. And the next one is a thigmotrophism, right? The thigmotrophism is the directional growth of the plant part in response to the touch stimulus of an object. That touch is called as a thigmo, right? So the thigmotrophism is the directional growth of the plant part in response to the touch stimulus of the object. See, the climbers, example is the climbers, which produces a tendrils which move towards a source of support in order to coil around it and help the plant to climb. Right, again one more time, we will see what are the types of trophism. Number one is a phototrophism, that is light. Okay, the trophism towards a light. Second is a geotrophism, that is the trophism based on the gravity, so geotrophism. Third is hydro, that is water, right? And the fourth one is a chemotrophism. It is the movement because of the chemical, right? The chemical stimulus, chemotrophism. And the fifth one is thigmotrophism. Thigmo means touch. So the direction towards a touch.
Let us do an activity to study this tropic movement. Take two glass troughs A and B. Fill each one of them 2/3 with soil. In trough A and trough B, we plant seedlings. In addition, in trough B, we also keep a clay pot containing water inside the soil. Keep this for some days. If we remove the seedlings after some days from the soil, we find that the seedling in trough A has roots growing in the downward direction towards the pull of gravity. The seedling in trough B has roots growing sideways towards the clay pot containing water. It doesn't grow downwards in the direction of gravitational pull. This proves that roots are positively hydrotrophic. Thigmotropism, the directional growth movement of plants with respect to the touch of an object, is called thigmotropism. We see the climbers, on coming in contact with any support, start growing and climbing around it. This is called as thigmotropism. Significance of the tropic movements. The tropic movements help the plant to survive. For example, the seed, even if planted upside down, the roots being positively geotropic, will grow towards gravity, and also being hydrotrophic will grow in the direction of water. This helps the plant to obtain nutrients and water required for their survival. The shoot is positively phototrophic, so it grows in the direction of light. This helps the plant to prepare food which is required for its survival.
I'll meet you still with more interesting points about coordination in plants. Until then, practice with the tropic movement and get familiar with that. Thank you, children.